News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. The communal battle lines have returned in Karnataka with a fresh controversy over textbooks. After the Congress party's stellar victory in Karnataka, the new government plans to undo what it calls the BJP's saffron agenda. Earlier, there was the furore over the anti-cow slaughter laws. Now the Congress turns its attention to school textbooks, namely lessons on RSS founder Keshav Baliram Hedgewar. The Congress has accused the BJP of ideological corruption, calling the RSS founder a coward who deserves no pedestal in history. Slamming his brand of Hindu nationalism, the Congress says he played no role in India's freedom struggle. The BJP has accused the Congress of vendetta politics, claiming the government is waging a cultural war on Hindus by sidelining Sangh icons in India's freedom movement. It is recorded history that Hedgewar campaigned against British rule in India and was imprisoned multiple times for sedition. He fought for independence under the banner of Hindu nationalism and even joined the Congress in 1919. But he quit the party in 1923 after opposing Mahatma Gandhi's policy of launching the non-cooperation movement with the plank of Khilafat to restore the Caliphate in Turkey. He then formed the RSS in 1925. So are the Congress party's charges against the RSS founder rooted in fact? Who is twisting history for the sake of politics?
BJP are so corrupt in their mind, which they wanted to infuse in the system of studies, which we are against it.
ಹೆಡ್ಗೇವಾರು ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಹೋರಾಟಗಾರರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಸಾಬೀತು ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ ಕ್ಷಮಾಪಣೆ ಕೋರಿದಂತ ಈ ನಕಲಿ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಹೋರಾಟಗಾರರಿಗೆ ಅವರು ಮಾನ್ಯತೆ ನೀಡದಿದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾರೋ ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
आरएसएस देशवासियों को दिल में है, हृदय में है, वो हटा नहीं सकता. सिलेबस से हटा सकता है. वो जो लोग सत्ता में है उसके वजह से सिलेबस से हटा सकता है, बट दिल से हटा नहीं सकता.
This is not an astonishing thing. When Siddaramaiah became the chief minister, every time chief minister takes his total administration is vendetta. Not only regarding education. You can see everything.
Alok, spokesperson of the BJP. Sanket Yanagi is the spokesperson of the Congress. Desh Ratan Nigam is political analyst and also a lawyer. We also have Rashid Kidwai, author and senior journalist. I'm going to begin with you, Sanket Yanagi. During the elections, the Congress party spoke about its guarantees. It talked about progressive politics and accused the BJP of doing what they say was regressive politics of division. Aren't you doing the same now? Is this really what should impact or affect the people of Karnataka?
Firstly, it is not. Let me clarify one by one. Over the last 3.5 years of BJP rule, BJP has demolished the brand image of the Karnataka as a secular growing state. Karnataka was one of the competing state with the rest of the country. And it was one among the top bidder for the #1 position in the country. It was known for its secular thoughts and the progressive vision. And now that ideology or that identity of the Karnataka has been demolished by the BJP, by its communal agenda.
And what are you doing?
For a moment, let
You're
me
correcting
clarify
history?
another aspect of it.
Are you correcting history then?
The damage which has been done by the BJP is known to the people. People have voted us to undo the damage caused by the BJP. That answers everything.
Okay. Ajay Alok.
See, I just don't understand. Intentionally, these people are hell-bent because mentioning Hedgewar ji without any context, playing with the cultural ethos of the country without any contest. That what does it show? Actually, it shows the basic hatred towards the Hinduism, towards the Hindu culture, towards the culture what India follows. And I'm at pain to see that fellow congressmen who also don't accept to the ideas, they also give in. I mean, you are calling Hedgewar by names. Do you know he was expelled from the school for the first time in Pune because he cited Vande Mataram? He was the doctor of that point of time and he was respectfully called Guruji. Forget about that, he established RSS and whatever, because your natural hatred towards RSS will come out. But none other than Pranav Mukherjee, your president, sir, your party men, when Pranav Mukherjee visited Hedgewar place, he wrote that India has lost a true son of a soil. I mean, he has such a big contribution to the national freedom movement of India, and you are just uttering lies just because of your hatred towards Hinduism and just because towards your hatred of RSS.
Okay.
I mean, this is utter disrespect.
So, essentially, it is about, Sanket Yanagi, the charge is that what you accuse the BJP of doing, you're doing the same. This is, if anything, the politics of division, politics of communalism. How are you being progressive as you wanted yourself to be seen as?
Firstly, the chapter is for the 5th standard.
Yes, they should not be. They should not be fed hatred in class 5th. They are 10-year-olds.
So for the 10-year-old kid, we are infusing the communal ideas. We are infusing the ideas which is against the constitutional ethos, like secularism, and we are infusing the ideas which is against the togetherness, brotherhood. Okay. This is not acceptable.
So that is all what Sanket Yanagi says Mr. Hedgewar actually stood for. Come in on this, Rashid. Rashid, you know, ever since a new government has been formed in Karnataka, we are seeing it's getting caught in these issues which are very, very politically sensitive, and which would essentially mean that the people of the state are being seen as being caught being caught in this crossfire, the constant crossfire between the BJP and the Congress.
Maria, I think the BJP is getting paid in the kind of same coin. You see, I am personally against this whole idea of history being used as politics. But there are umpteen examples that how whether it is the education ministry at the center or several state governments, they've been, there is a concerted attempt to erase Mughals and several other, chapters from the history textbooks, which is prima facie is wrong. History should remain what it is, and it is, of course, the children should be, told to inculcate, draw lessons from it. We see the BJP may be very, fine in saying that, Hedgewar's role should be acknowledged, should be there. But when it came to their own backyard, when Lal Krishna Advani mentioned about Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Jinnah also had played a role. So the BJP was totally, flabbergasted, and they distanced from Mr. LK Advani, and that played a role in downfall of Advani. So I'm saying that a lot of double standards, all political parties, Congress, BJP included.
Okay, Deshratna Nigam.
Well, Maria, in fact, to quote few examples from Dr. Hedgewar's life, as one was already given by Ajay Alok when he was expelled from the school, singing Vande Mataram and opposing the song in favor of the king at that point of time, and persuaded others also in the class not to sing that particular song in praise of the King of England. So he was expelled from there, and then he had to go. His parents died at the age of 13. They led a very difficult life. And he gave the concept of a Purna Swaraj in the Congress 1920 session. Prior to that, when he was the head of the volunteer force, and that was rejected by the Congress. And subsequently, the differences between the Congress and the Hedgewarji grew further. And in 1923, when the communal riots broke, because of that non-cooperation movement's main plank was Khilafat platform. So from that point of time, Hedgewar said, we form a new organization. And a new organization came forth in 1925. And believe me, the present Congress is not the Congress of the old times. When he went through a rigorous imprisonment of 1 year, and when he was released in July 22, the Congress organized a reception for Hedgewarji, and where Motilal Nehru and Hakim Ajmal Khan spoke in praise of him. And again in 1930, 31, 32, when he came out of the jail. Again, the Congress organized meeting in for reception for him. So those are the examples. And he, in fact, supported in 1930 itself the Poon Swaraj concept, which actually came after 10 years of Hedgewar's assertion on the Poon Swaraj. When Congress said in 1933, we want Poon Swaraj, and every shakha in the country was directed by Hedgewarji to participate in it and celebrate 26th January as an Independence Day. He went twice and went through rigorous imprisonment. He had a vision. He took part in the armed struggle by being a member of the Anushilan Samiti and Yugantar. And he was carrying bombs and literature, revolutionary literature, supplying arms from one place to other when he was young, lad of 17, 18 years old. Can you undermine all these examples from history? You may delete his chapter, but this history as it is has to be told to the people.
Okay, Sanket,
Good, bad.
You know, here is the version of history which is being said by Deshratna Nigam and Ajay Alok, and then you're talking about another version. My question is, are you not confusing a 10-year-old then? By making them read different versions whenever there is a change in government?
They have enough confused the young minds, and we are removing those confusions. We are making it
So
plain.
for 5 years, because then another government will come and then they will be reading another version.
So the students' mind should be left very pure and available for the studies to grow in public.
Yes. So what
The
about the
students-
scientific temper? When you talk about scientific temper, it should be about looking at history, and this is like a convenient
Maria,
thing that happens every time, whether it is the
Maria,
BJP
let
or the
me-
Congress.
Maria, let me make 2 points very clear. That chapter is not about Mr. Hedgewar. It is a chapter written by Mr. Hedgewar about so many aspects, including the communal issues. That was not required. His communal ideas, why to be imposed on the student, which is of 5 years old or the 5th class?
Okay. Ajay, look,
So
no, but you have not
communal-
answered my question. The question is, where is the communal agenda here?
So, see, the BJP much talks about the nationalism. Why the RSS did not hoist the flag from 1947 or 1950 to 2022? These are the questions. So many issues are there that they have to answer. Let us not learn
Okay,
nationalism from the BJP.
let that question be answered. Deshratna Nigam, why did
Yes,
the
let
RSS
me-
hoist the flag?
See, let me tell you, I think the ignorance is bliss. 1950, the code flag code of India came, which prevented private organizations and leaders to hoist flag, which was actually
It was withdrawn in 2002.
Mr. Jindal went of the Congress, went to the Supreme Court, got an order, judgment, so that the private person or organization can hoist flag. It was in 2004 that restriction was removed. Please understand the law and know the law before making any comments like that.
From 2002, why did not the hoist the flag till 2022?
2004.
Where was the nationalism? Where was the nationalism? Where was the national flag? Where
2004,
was the
the
chapter
judgment of the
patriotism?
Supreme Court came. 2004, the
Even
judgment of
after
the Supreme Court came.
order, even after the withdrawal, where was
It is
the
hoisted.
where was
It
the
is hoisted at.
patriotism?
It is hoisted at many places.
It is showing
Please
the
don't
double
mislead.
standard. In my
Please
opinion,
don't
it is
mislead.
nothing but a double
Please
standard.
don't mislead. We sing national anthem, we raise flags, we hoist flags. Please don't mislead.
No,
I am a part of
2000
RSS.
This is one
Please
of the
don't
questions
mislead.
which was raised
You have not
earlier
seen-
by the
you have not
Congress.
seen RSS
Even
Tatas.
after the
You have
withdrawal
not
of that
got
order,
the-
why did
Please
not hoist the
don't
flag?
blatantly lie. Please don't blatantly lie on national
So
TV.
let
Please.
them clarify
Please
it.
don't.
When did they hoist
Please
it?
don't.
Let them give the date.
I am
Let
saying
them
so.
give
I'm
the
a
date.
part of RSS. I am saying so. I'm a
Please
part
give
of
the date.
RSS.
When did you hoist the flag before 2020?
All Republic Day, Independence Day, and all functions we
But it is on a
do it.
public record. But it is on a public record. It shows otherwise. Let them
Arey
go in.
bhai, that is your history. I am not
In
going to
my
subscribe
opinion,
to your history.
BJP is known for its double
You
standards.
have the natural
It
hatred.
want to
You have the
impose and
natural
influence
hatred.
the young
Sub-
minds of
you-
the country.
you-
It want to
give all the-
inculcate the
Please-
communal
please
ideas in the young minds,
have-
which is not acceptable.
May I
Let the
make a
students be
request
left
to you?
free to have
May
the
I
education
make a-
of their own
may I
choice.
make a request
Let the
to you?
students be
May I
left
make
with
a
their
request
own
to
choice
you?
of having the
Sir,
education of
sir,
scientific
sir,
paper.
nonsense.
Communal
May
ideas
I
are
make
not
a-
acceptable. We will
May
oppose
I
it.
make a request to you? May I make a request to you? Can I? You remove that chapter and include all the incidents I have told you about Dr. Hedgewar in that book. I have given you so many examples from history. You remove that chapter, include whatever incidents that has happened in his life.
We are not erasing anything from the history. We cannot do that.
Can you do
History
that?
removal
Can
can
you
be
do
done
that?
only by the BJP, but not
you
by
do
anyone
that?
else.
Can
But
you
only
not-
thing
can
is,
you
let us not
only include all
inculcate or
these incidents?
impose communal ideas in the young
But you are
minds.
not answering.
Let the
You are
young
not
minds
answering.
from those
You are
ideas.
not answering. You are not
So
answering.
my point is,
Please-
and the point of
Please
the Congress
include
is
all
very
these
clear.
incidents.
Let
Please
the
include
young
all
mind
these
should have a
incidents.
scientific
Please
temper.
include
It is necessary
these
for the
incidents of
personality
history.
growth. It is
Please
necessary
include-
for the growth of the
Please
country.
include
Let the
incidents of
country growth should not be hampered because of the communal ideas being imposed on a young mind. That is what is our intention. What is wrong in this? For which the people have voted the Congress and unvoted the BJP.
Incidents of history. Please include these incidents of history of Dr. Hedgewar in that particular chapter. You delete that chapter and include these incidents of history, which you cannot hide or delete.
We can't
History is
include or
perfect.
delete something as per our and your whims and fancies. What is
No, this is
necessary
an
for the students and
the part
student
of our
mind and the young
Mr.
mind,
Bill.
that only would be necessary for the growth and the country that we will inculcate
not
and we will
answering.
impose.
You're not
And we
answering.
will see
You're
that
not
that
answering the
personality should be free from any influence of communal in nature. What is
Well,
wrong
you have
in
not
this?
answered. You include these incidents of freedom struggle of Dr. Hedgewar in the chapter. This is history. I am not asking
This is
anything
not,
else.
this is not a RSS school. You preach that in the
Arey
RSS
bhai,
school, but not in the government school. Let us not be
This is history.
influencing
This
the
is
young
history.
minds of the country or the state. No, this is not acceptable.
So singing Vande Mataram in a school is communal.
Just because one party wants it, just
And
because
going to
one
the
Sangha
jail
Parivar wants
in
it,
support
let
of
us not do that. Let us
non-cooperation
not corrupt the mind
is
of the young
communal.
students.
Supporting Poon Swaraj of Congress 1930 resolution is communal. Are you saying this?
No. See, the chapter itself says.
You've got yourself trapped.
Yes.
So
Got yourself
that chapter,
trapped.
Okay,
it is written
Rashid Kidwai, you know, for the larger understanding, every time there's a change of government, there's change of textbooks. And
Yes, so
there are
my-
multiple interpretation of, figures who are associated with our history and freedom struggle.
Absolutely. So, Maria, this is what I'm saying. This is a very cyclic thing. This should be done away with every
Yes,
time.
it
there
is
a change of
cycling.
government. There is a change of government in Rajasthan. There is a change in textbooks, and it's very confusing for somebody who studied something in the 4th standard. By the time he or she comes in 9th standard, they have a very different thing. And when they're in the
Understanding
first
of history,
college,
yes.
they hear something very different. So I think history is too important a subject to be politicized. It should be left to the professionals. We should not have any hesitation in describing and discussing not so favorable circumstances and the events that have unfolded.
Okay,
in the
Sanket
life of a
Inagi,
great nation.
is there a group of
But
historians
BJP is
or a
biased,
panel of historians who have said so?
Yes, but Maria,
Or are you doing it out of your own whims and fancies? When former president who was from the Congress party died in the Wool Congress leader like Pranab Mukherjee had acknowledged the contribution of Hedgewar.
The movement
Yes,
president of India,
Yes, so,
Mr. Pranab Mukherjee.
Maria, it takes two to tango, na? It cannot be one side, one street thing. What I'm saying is that BJP is also bringing a lot of changes in the textbooks wherever in the BJP ruled state as well as in the center, and they're doing it as part of their political narrative. So they should not be, they should not be negating it. They should acknowledge it that yes, we are doing it. But here they are not saying it. My friend, Mr. Deshratan Nigam, is a very able lawyer. He is marshalling very good arguments. But the fact of the matter is that flag had nothing to do. Many religious organizations, I would say on record, whether it was a Christian organizations, Muslim organizations, and of course, so to say, the Hindu organizations, they were reluctant to hoist, national flag. And things have changed in last 10 years, 20 years or so. But it has nothing to do with Naveen Jindal case.
Okay.
So 1 minute, let me intervene here for a minute. There are two important aspects. The world is competing with each other in the scientific temperament. And we in India are trying to do or undo something which has been damaged. So most of the time which has been spent by the BJP in the last 3 years is to do something which has damaged the reputation of Karnataka or damaged the progressive thinking of the students of the Karnataka. And that we have been undoing it immediately so that the students, at least from now, should have a free education, free from all ill will, communal ideas and other things which are not necessary for the students for their personality growth. When we are focusing on the student individually and their personality growth individually, if we allow them to grow, then it will be allowing the growth of the country as a whole. Let us understand that.
Students are the future of the country, and students' mind should not be corrupted in any way, and it should be protected rather.
Okay.
And in that case, my opinion is, and
Okay.
the opinion of the Congress is, that let the students have its
That
own
is the
choice.
priority of the Congress party right now in a state where they promise that they'll be talking about welfareism. Ajay Alok, again, it is an issue which is BJP's playfield. You have been playing on this field and winning elections on this argument.
Well,
Nationalism.
Maria, if somebody is against nationalism, we cannot help it. What Congress spokesperson is saying and what Congress party has been doing is nothing but the cultural arm of any political party. And mind you, this is not history. This is his story. They want to plant the his story angle, and history has always been his story for the Congress. But here the point is, such a rabid element like BK Hari Prasad, who had the audacity of comparing MLA with prostitutes and saying loudspeaker protesters are nothing but terrorists, he comes up with remark against someone like Hedgewar ji. And Congress is defending and Congress is supporting. That is ridiculous. That is something to be ridiculed for. Because they are against, see, for them it's very easy, you know, he has used the word communal at least 10 times. What is communal? If we talk of Hindu, we become communal. And if you keep on praising Muslims, keep on doing it. For you, PFI is secular. Congress is secular and BJP becomes communal because we talk of Hindu.
I have the
I mean, what
chapter
kind of ideology and what kind of history you want to give? What kind of ideology you have? Why you are against the ethos of India? You cannot make history as your story. By your logic, by your explanation, then after 10 years down the line, we should have Sonia Gandhi in the textbook for the school children of 10-year-old. Because Jawaharlal Nehru was there, or Sonia Gandhi has to be there. After 10 years, you will put Sonia Gandhi in the history books and the students should know about it. Is this the concept of India? Why the relevant leaders who were important to the freedom movement, who were important to the India, who were important to the concept of India, why they were missing for the last 60 years? And if you are trying to do something inclusive, you have a problem in that. That becomes communal for you.
You know,
strange definition of
Sanket
communal.
Yanagi, you know, the point here is that you have not given due place in history or in popular culture to people like Sardar Patel and others. The BJP says that they have been given their due now in the last 9 years of Modi government. Are you not making an effort and getting caught in an argument which is clearly putting you on the losing side?
Mr. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was the Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister of India, independent India. And he was most powerful person in the Congress. He only banned the RSS, let us understand that. And one step which was stringent and necessary at
And
that
he
point
only
of
lifted
time,
the ban, you should know that.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel has changed the entire pace and phase of India's development. Otherwise, India would have suffered from the communal issues from 1947 onwards. And one thing, let us also understand, the vision of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in banning RSS, branding it as a communal force which is destroying the country communally, has led the growth of the country. And now, let us not have it the repetition. And Mr. Vajpayee or Mr. Narendra Modi praise about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Who was, after all, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel? He was from Congress.
Sanket Yanagi, really appreciate your time. We have come to the end of this discussion. Ajay Alok, Deshratna Nigam and Rashid Kidwai. The Karnataka government has